All right, welcome back. Once again, the final score Death Guard 98, Grey Knights 98.
Yeah.
Very high scoring game. A lot of it to do with the mission. There are a lot of ways you're able to score. 8 on primary for killing Boar, 8 on primary for holding Boar. You were definitely in a position to be able to hold more most of the game. And because I went second, I knew exactly how much I needed to kill to keep that score more. And I think that's also crucial with this mission is when you go second, it's really easy to play off that.
Yeah.
Your army has to be able to do it.
Well, also the kill in turn one is so much easier if you're going second.
Yep.
Because if your opponent moves out there on the table, you got 8 points on primary turn one by killing something, which killed more.
Which atypically, most of the time, you can't even score anything on primary.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of it. I completely agree. And then just getting some Grey Knights. I mean, turn one, the 20-point turn one, not completely impossible because, like you said, the being able to go first for that primary, as well as the fact that Grey Knights, I bounce around the field. That's what I do. Being able to draw those cards and just go, cool, I'm just going to score these primaries. That's not unexpected. Late into the game, hard press. I was really fighting for capture enemy outposts because of how much you were pushing and pushing the scoreboard and pushing me off objectives and eliminating my army. I'm like, I need to get something. I need something that's going to score me some points. And I was really fishing around your objective, waiting to hit Storm Hostile and all that stuff at the same time and get it all to trigger behind enemy lines. Hit it last turn. Awesome, cool, scored the points, pulled the tie out, barely and luckily. Any other mission, that's not happening.
Yeah, it's very high scoring for both of us, both on primary and secondary, because you get to cycle out secondaries. I think you went through most of your deck because you knew what was coming at the end with the.
I'm like, it's got to be here. It's in here somewhere.
I didn't have to discard that many because I pushed so hard I was all over the board. So I don't think I discarded very many. I have 4 or 5 of them left at the end there. So I had a lot of fun with this Death Guard list. I'll probably try something similar again sometime, just because it was fun to play something different than what I normally do and just push everything up the table, go get close.
Yeah, it was definitely tough. It was definitely tough to deal with the Plague Marines. You move, they overwatch.
Yep.
You charge them, they fight first. You get smacked by them. There wasn't very much you could do, and you could shoot at them. That's it. And that's the only thing that I could see as a weakness is if you were able to pop the Rhino and then pour shots into them, then that's going to be troublesome. Yeah. Now, Oath of Moments. If I Oath of Moment the Rhino, does that also Oath of Moments the guys inside? Or the Rhino that's destroyed and the guys are not Oath of Moment anymore?
It does not Oath the guys inside. Now, Oath of Moment, you can choose things that are in Deep Strike or Reserve or inside of Transport.
So you can select the thing into Transport.
You can Oath them and then kill the...
I knew there was some way. I just couldn't remember how it was triggering. Okay. So now let's just... this was, like you said, this was meant to be more of a casual, fun game. This was meant to be a break for Lane after a lot of competitive and
so much tournament prep. Yeah.
Just to breathe and throw some models on the table and stuff like that. I wanted to try out Interceptors and try out using them as 10-mans and see what I could get out of them. And you brought some Plague Marines. So ultimately, I think we'll just talk about them real quick. So let's start off with those Plague Marines. How did you feel with those units again? This is not the first time you've run these units in this exact same style, exact same setup and everything. How'd they feel today? Anything different from the past?
Oh, no, they're great. Just that fight first makes them so touchy. Like you said, you can't charge them because they will get to fight first. And they hit really hard in combat, especially if you prop a strat for the CP to get the sustained off and you're lethal on 5s. A ton of attacks. It's really strong. They're a lot of fun. I tried the Carnivores for the first time today too, and the Carnivores, the War Dog Carnivores, were fun. They're not ideal into killing Marine bodies though, because swinging the Marines, if you use the strike, it's too few swings.
And then if you sweep,
you could maybe only pick up 1 or 2. I think they're good into vehicles because they have that high strength and high damage, and their sweep is better into 1 wound models. However, they're only 140 points, which is pretty good for what they are. So they're a lot of fun. And the 14-inch move means you can get out on objectives. And OCH,
they were chasing me all game. They're
great. But their damage profile has a weird kind of bracketing or banding where the Marine body is kind of tricky But everything else is pretty good. So they were a lot of fun. I'd like to try them again too.
So then for me, as the interceptors were, I definitely feel a lot of weakness behind the fact of not being able to attach a character to the unit. It lacks in some little aspects and little ways for that finishing and killing power. This game, I really did not use their move away at all, like shoot and then move. I didn't do that anytime at all. They were just shooting and then charging on to objectives. Their move was necessary. I needed that extra distance to be able to get to some places at a couple of times, but not really. So my overall impression is investing that many points in the interceptors takes points away from other things, which makes the interceptors actually less valuable than it would be to just take the 5-man squads at this time, land, do all the shenanigans and stuff like that. But the big 10-man bricks, they don't pack enough of a punch.
Yeah.
They're not paladins, they're not terminators, they're not purifiers. Their role is very simple, and that comes to 5-mans. Now, Codex time, maybe a different story. I would love to see a character that could attach into those guys. That'd be pretty cool. Just having a brother champion that could take a teleporter as a backpack option would be kind of cool. GW, that's on my wish list.
Listen up.
Hear it up. And but I think that's about it. Everything else, the Land Raiders. When I'm playing Grey Knights, I don't like to use a lot of the Imperium stuff. So I stay away from the Raven, the Dread Knights. I have run the single Land Raider because I needed the weapons. But you really start to feel it, especially because there's not really, other than true silver armor, there's not really a lot I can do with it uniquely out of Grey Knights. And it just kind of counteracts what I'm trying to do, with the list in general. But all in all, Grey Knights, I love their teleporting shenanigans. I love their tricks getting around the table. Being able to bounce around like they do allows me to do things all the way into the late game, like I did in this one, where turn 5, going second, I had that. It was very, very nice to be able to hit those 3 objectives. And even in other missions, the way that was set up, that play, that may have mattered for a more of an increase to points. I think what gave me the draw, I will say this, I think your army was stronger. I think your play.
No, I had 700-800 points left, and you had 200 maybe?
Yeah. Well, needless to say, like some of the builds, as we've seen competitively, there's plenty of times, like especially with last edition Necrons, I would play an army that I'd expect to get tabled, but I'd score so many points. And that's a lot of the similar things what I've done with Grey Knights. I don't care if I have 1 model left, 2 models left, what's the scoreboard? In this one, your army was definitely stronger. Your play was stronger. You had a lot of control over center and everything like that. It's some of my experience on playing against the wall with Grey Knights, like having my back against the wall, was able to help pull me out. But realistically, the only reason that I drew this game was because of the mission, whatever secondary mission.
Yeah,
that was it. Being able to draw that 3rd card saved me, because if it wasn't for that 3rd card, I may not have hit behind enemy lines and that stuff. I would have had a lot of turns where I had dead drops. I mean, what happened when I hit tempting target? I was able to pitch it. Tempting target, you would have controlled. You would have picked, okay, where do I want you to go? And that would have probably been center, and stuff like that. So not keeping that one or having that mission is what gave me the draw, because the opposite side is, like you said, you didn't have to pitch a card. You didn't have to draw those 3rd ones. You just looked at the 2 cards and you're like, okay, checkmate, done. I scored my points. So you were in a much stronger position to be able to continue those secondaries. I say without that mission, this game, I did have some decent, weird primary control. I did have some good kills. I'd say another scenario, it's 93-62 your win. I'd say like around 93-62 your win. I still think I had some very strong secondary plays in there to at least be able to kick that up there. But I'm saying I'm in the low 60s, and you're in the low to mid 90s at that point, because
it depends on the mission. Because if you just wanted to, you could take fixed secondaries against me. I've got 6 characters and 6 vehicles, and you killed all the vehicles by the end of the game.
Surprise!
And a few,
I was surprised by killing all the vehicles, because once my Land Raider goes away, that's it.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
Death Guard, typically the fun Death Guard lists give up a lot, have a lot of characters and a lot of vehicles in them, so they give up a lot on fixed secondaries if someone wants to take them. So if I try to take something like this to a tournament, I'd definitely do it for fun and know that it could hit hard and have some good games, but also it can just get wrecked too.
And
So
this is a
a shooting army can really shoot apart a Death Guard army because I don't
Yeah,
have
that's
any
true.
ranged attacks here.
So since this is a fun game, I think we should name our MVP for this game. We'll just personally pick who we thought was our MVP of our list for this game and give them that noble honor. So for this game, out of your army, one model, who gets to be your MVP?
Oh,
It is kind of tough because there was no one that really
Yeah.
stood out in any crazy marks. No one did like any
Yeah.
massive crazy hits. I mean, you hit my purifiers, you charge in the middle. There was some fighting going on over here, fighting going on over
it's
there.
probably just the foul
I-
blight spawn because keep preventing you from charging me because those Grey Knights, all your Grey Knight stuff hits really hard. Your strength 6, AP 2 damage, that's really strong. And the fact that if you charge me at any point, I get to fight first makes it really rough for you. So that's probably the MVP right there. Is don't charge me, bro.
I'd have to actually say it would actually be my Land Raider with the Godhammer las cannons.
I
Because
think it's Castell and Crow for tanking like 9 out of 10 4-up emblem
okay, he
saves.
did that one. He did that one time, and that was very nice, and I appreciate that, Crow. Good job. You always do well. But the Land Raider was scoring me points. The Land Raider
He rolled pretty
hit
well
and destroys
into-
that.
yeah.
Hit and destroys that, and scored points that were very pivotal. Where Crow just kind of said, "What are you doing? I'm just going to shield you. I'm not. You're not hurting me." Crow got lucky. Crow made it happen. Crow did some work. Crow always does work. But realistically, as far as I gotta say, MVP, that was my long bomb. That was the Hail Mary. I'm giving it to the Land Raider this game because of the fact that, like I said, he picked up 2 of those vehicles, which were very, very important. And the times that he did that was very necessary and contributing to that tie. Without him, I don't think I had the damage output to be able to clear that off of there, and also at the same time too, by him shooting down and finishing that off the carnivore, I was then able to bring the strike over to finish off your pipes, your what is that thing called? The fortification,
Yeah, the
Furnace.
make malignifier.
the furnace. So I was able to get that, and without that, then I'm running into the war dog. Then I kill the war dog. Then I'm behind. And so I was necessary. Crow does great things. Crow is Crow. And he's built to do these things and zero stuff out and precision a character and do all that. Cool. That's great. That's how he's built. Land Raider has failed forever. So you know what? The Land Raider gets the love. The Land Raider gets the MVP, and that's the bottom line.
All right.
So, but all in all, that was a fun game. I'll walking away with the tie. That's okay. All right.
We'll
It
take
happens in 40K. It happens. And maybe the first one here on Tim's Nation. So, closing thoughts. This mission combination leads to a lot of high scoring points.
Yeah.
30-man interceptors, not really a good route. 30 Plague Marines, they're very tough. And I think that's about it. Any thoughts?
No, it's good. I don't think the miasmic malignifier will make it into my competitive Death Guard list.
It's a lot bigger than I was surprised. It's a lot bigger than I thought.
Big,
Tall.
but in
tall.
certain missions, it's useless and doesn't do anything for 115 points. It was like 60 points. That makes sense, but no.
Should just put it right at center field.
Yeah.
You need to actually build it like battery powered, where it has like a fog machine inside of it that you can turn on and it just starts spilling smoke out. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.